For the most part, there's really only two reactions to the ending of Imitation of Life. Reaction 1 or reaction 2. Now, there are two versions of this film, but we're going to be talking about the Lana Turner, Juanita Moore version. So really, you have a tale of two moms, right? And the storyline with Laura, played by Lana Turner, and her daughter Susie is more of the general trials of a mother who's trying to provide for her daughter and a daughter who really wants to spend time with her mom. She moves to New York as a single mom, trying to make it on Broadway. She finally, after meeting some really smarmy people, does end up making a career for herself. But of course, that career takes her away from time with her daughter. But because Annie is there, Annie ends up serving as a mother figure to her daughter, Susie, right? Even when they go on the picnic, Laura is out on a walk with Steve, rekindling her love, while Susie is talking to Annie about boys. Susie's storyline is really unfortunate because she actually has two really good moms, right? She has Annie, who's her caretaker, the person who she can come and confide in, the person who makes sure that she's raised to be this good child, right? And then she has her mom, Laura, who's out making money, trying to make sure that this child has the best things in life, as she doesn't have a dad. And because she doesn't have a dad, a guy comes into her life that sort of should be serving as a father figure, but instead she falls in love with him. So Susie's storyline is complicated, but they really made Lana Turner's storyline so heavy-handed because they knew that her wardrobe and her jewelry would be a draw for women to come and see this movie. In the original screenplay, her name was Bee, and she was a bread maker. Literally made bread, not money, bread. Lana had $1 million wardrobe for this film. So really, she's there for you to have something to look at. But her story is, it does add to the film. But we all know that the meat and the potatoes and the vegetables of the story is Annie and Sarah Jane. Annie and Sarah Jane meet Laura and Susie at the beach when Susie gets lost. And Laura goes looking for her, and Annie is taking care of her. Annie and Sarah Jane have nowhere to live, and her kindness inspires Laura to take them in for the night, at which time Annie proves to be a really good maid for the house and doesn't want to be paid. She just really wants a place for her and her daughter to live. Having a housekeeper is a really good look for Laura, who, number one, is trying to appear more fancy than she is in a lot of circles, and number two, needs somebody to look after her child. But as you can see, Annie is a black mother. And Sarah Jane, my name's Sarah Jane, but when you see me, I'm white. She gets mad when Susie tries to give her a black doll. Which, good on her mama for buying her a black doll. But Susie, you messy for just going to get the one black doll and being like, here, this is yours. Her mama comes up to school to bring something that she left at home. Her mama, and she literally runs out of school into the snow because she's so mad that they just found out she black. I don't know how this child enrolled in school and nobody knew that this child's mama was black, but apparently nobody, whatever, anyway. She get older and start dating a white boy. Don't tell him that she black. This boy asked her if her mama was a hard R, which you know what I mean by hard R, then proceeded to beat the mess out of her and leave her in the alley. She go home and get mad at her mama. How you gonna get mad at your mama because your boyfriend be... Child. She get mad that they asked her to simply bring a plate out, so she starts talking like an old slave. She lies and tells her mom that she's working overnight at a library when she's actually working at a nightclub. And you remember what I said last time in Mildred Pierce. That's 2 steps away from being a hoe. Her mama comes in there, kind of tells on her, I guess, and she gets fired. So then she basically Mom, leave me the fuck alone. Don't ever talk to me ever again. And takes her bags and leaves. Her mama is sickly, dying. In the street, has to sit down because she's dying, and her daughter, Sarah Jane, just walks off into the fog. Flies to Hollywood. She said, don't come looking for me. They had to send Steve to get a private investigator to find Sarah Jane, and she Annie says, I just need to see Sarah Jane one more time because the girl is working on the Moulin Rouge in Hollywood, child. Annie flies all the way to California from the East Coast to see her daughter one more time. Her daughter won't even let her sit down. She said, "Can I sit down?" Sarah Jane said, "No, you may not." Annie is sickly and she won't even let her mama sit down. And all she wanted to do was tell her, "If you ever need anything, please call Miss Laura. And also, I just want to hug you one last time, and I will never bother you again. And if I see you on the street, I won't even tell nobody I know you." Her friend comes in, and Annie pretends that she used to be Sarah Jane's mammy. And Sarah Jane lets her do it. And that girl says, "Oh, I didn't know you had a mammy, child." And she says, "All my life," and starts crying. Whew. That is the last time that Sarah Jane sees her mother alive. Annie basically dies of a broken heart. As Michael Jackson would have said, "Annie, are you okay?" Annie is not okay. And let me tell you something. Lana Turner acted her ass off. Acted her ass off right here. Now, Miss Annie done planned her whole funeral. 4 white horses drawing the hearse. She want a big band, celebration, everybody high-stepping, proud, black people. And baby, Miss Laura and Steve made sure she got it. The works, all the organizations, the whole Baptist church. Mahalia Jackson singing "My Girl on the Glory." Amen? Amen. And then Sarah Jane, from out of nowhere, proceeds to do the blackest thing that she has done this whole film. She pushes through that whole crowd, pushes past the police, and flings herself onto that casket. "Mama, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. I did love you. I wanted to come home. I'm sorry." My favorite thing about that scene is that when Sarah Jane looks at Laura and says, "I killed my mother," Laura doesn't say, "No, you didn't." She doesn't say, "Oh, honey, it's going to be okay." She doesn't say, "Oh, honey, don't say that." She don't say nothing because she knows that Sarah Jane really did kill her mother. That woman died of a broken heart because Sarah Jane played with her life. Her whole life played with her life. You gonna fling yourself onto girl. Also, John Gavin was very handsome as Steve. It's fine. But all Sarah Jane slander will be tolerated here. If there are no Sarah Jane haters left, I am dead and gone.